Yes, Hermione.
What on earth are you doing down here in the cellar?
Putting the finishing touches on this wine bin.
Have you taken leave of your senses? Yes, I dare say you have. Look at you, the epitome of the absent-minded professor.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Well, I would. Whatever would become of you if I weren't here to look after you?
I wonder.
And, well, you might. Have you any idea what today is?
Why, Tuesday, I believe.
Indeed. And what is going to happen today?
Well, according to your plans, we are flying to America on the 9 o'clock plane.
Precisely. And the good knows are coming in for tea in half an hour. And here you are digging a hole in the cellar.
It is not a hole, it's a wine bin.
Well, it looks more like a grave to me.
Yes, Hermione.
Now upstairs with you now and get into some clean things.
Yes, Hermione.
I've already dismissed the cook. You'll have to get the tea things ready while I'm taking my bath.
Yes, Hermione.
Oh, dear, such a bother to go to. Closing up the house and all, and then having to open it again when we get back for Christmas.
Back for Christmas, back for Christmas. Must you keep saying that?
Well, why not? We are coming back for Christmas, aren't we?
Well, supposing I were offered a position in an American university.
Oh, nonsense.
Well, they did ask me to come to lecture. That means something.
Well, not very much. Americans will pay to hear any foreigner deliver a lecture once. But there's no use building dream castles, Herbert. Nobody's going to offer you a fortune in America. Of course, the extra money you will get will be very handy when we arrive back for Christmas.
Back for Christmas, yes.
Precisely. And it's no good you're making a joke of it. Oh, but heaven knows where you'd be today if I hadn't got a sense of time.
Yes, Hermione.
Now get a move on. And be sure to straighten up the sitting room and get the tea things out. The second best, the good nose will understand.
Yes, Hermione.
Now, I'm going up to have my bath now. Call me when they arrive.
Yes, Hermione. Yes, Hermione, yes, Hermione. 20 years of it, 20 years of Hermione being right. 20 years of personal management, down to the smallest detail of which necktie to wear and how many minutes one's eggs should be cooked. 20 years of slow strangulation, which would only have ended in dull death if it had not been for Marion. At least Marion was one detail that Hermione could not manage, could not even imagine. The mousy proprietor of a bookstore, proper, ever so intellectual with her heavy horn-rimmed spectacles, and the absent-minded professor. But such things do happen sometimes, as they did that afternoon last summer.
Good afternoon.
Oh, good afternoon. Is Miss Markham about? Well, bless me. Is it you, Miss Markham?
Yes, Professor Carpenter.
But I say I didn't recognize you without your glasses. Why, I thought you couldn't see a thing without them.
I can't.
But you're not wearing them.
Oh, yes, I am. Contact lenses.
Well, I must say.
Must say what, Professor?
Oh, I never realized what lovely eyes you have.
Thank you, Professor.
And that frock, it is so becoming.
Well, once I decided to get rid of the horn-rimmed glasses, it wasn't too difficult to get out of tweeds.
It's a delightful transformation, from cocoon to butterfly.
Yes, butterflies are not nearly as lonely as cocoons.
You're lonely?
I'm completely alone since my father died.
Did you never think of marrying?
My father was a very remarkable man. I never found anyone who could measure up to him, so...
What pity.
How long have you been alone, Professor?
Alone?
Well, I knew you were a widower, of course, the first time I saw you.
A widower?
Oh, I can always tell. It was the same with my father. There's a certain sadness in a man's eyes. A sweet sadness, I think, when he's been married and then...
A widower? I never thought of it quite that way.
Oh, I have your books.
Books?
Yes, the ones you ordered last week. That's what you came by for, wasn't it?
Yes, I suppose it is. I'd quite forgotten.
The Phytotomy of Phalloid Gamophytites and Coniferous Shrubs of North America. Those are the ones you ordered, aren't they?
Yes, thank you. You're very kind, Miss Markham.
Why kind, Professor Carpenter?
Well, not many young ladies in bookshops who go out of their way to look up rare books for an old professor of botany.
Why, you're not old, Professor Carpenter. Really, you look... Besides, I adore botany. It's my particular hobby.
No, really? You never told me that before, Miss Markham.
I was afraid to. You always intimidated me. You seemed so preoccupied.
Yes, I suppose I did. Well, you might be interested in some specimens of alpine polyanthes that were just sent to me by a friend in Switzerland.
Switzerland? Oh, I used to go there always for my holidays before the war.
You like Switzerland?
Oh, every part of it. The lakes, the mountains, the beautiful spring flowers, especially the flowers.
It seems that we have quite a lot in common, Miss Markham. I'm sorry we haven't talked before.
I am too. But perhaps we can make up for it in the future.
Indeed we shall.
Indeed, Lisa, they shall. Okay?
I use the word indeed. It's not that.
Do you?
It's not
Indeed?
that archaic, is it?
Kind of.
I like it.
All right, let's take a quick break. Then it's more of suspense.
Back to WGN Radio Theatre with Earl Amari and Lisa Wolf.
All right, we're listening to a terrific suspense episode called Back for Christmas. This stars Herbert Marshall. Let's hear the conclusion now of Suspense.
So had it begun, and one thing led to another, as they will with two lonely people. The invitation to lecture in America made a happy ending possible. While Hermione proceeded with her plans for the trip, I made my own plans, quite different plans. Now they were all but complete. Everything was proceeding according to schedule, my schedule. Even Hermione, drawing her bath upstairs, gave me the opportunity to phone Marion.
Hello?
Hello, dear.
Darling.
Are you all packed?
Almost.
Not much time left.
I know.
Excited?
Breathless.
Heathrow Aerodrome, 8:30.
I'll be there.
I love you, Marion.
And are you, Herbert?
Herbert?
I'm sorry I've got to ring off now, darling. I'll see you at the aerodrome.
Tonight and forever, darling. Goodbye for a little.
Goodbye.
Herbert! Were you talking on the phone just now?
Yes, Hermione.
Whoever was it?
Freddie Sinclair.
Did I hear you say something about seeing somebody at the aerodrome?
Yes. Old Freddie said he might possibly get out to see us off tonight.
Well, that seems very peculiar. But then all of your friends are peculiar.
Yes, Hermione.
I thought I told you to change your clothes before the guests arrived.
Yes, Hermione.
Find somebody just drove up. Go and let them in.
Yes, Hermione.
Herbert!
Yes, Hermione.
Look out the window. There's Professor and Mrs. Goodnow. But who's that with them?
Why, it's...
Precisely. Freddie Sinclair. Peculiar you should have been talking to him on the phone just now, when here he is coming up the walk.
Yes, isn't it? But then, as you say, Hermione, all of my friends are peculiar.
Not half so peculiar as you. Digging in the cellar an hour before we leave for America. Just look at yourself.
Yes, Hermione.
Well, go and let them in.
Yes, Hermione.
Open the door. And stop saying yes, Hermione.
I think, my dear, I've said it for the last time. Back for Christmas. Hermione was so positive we would be back for Christmas. That afternoon, pouring tea for a few friends who had come in to say last-minute farewells, she kept reiterating it.
Now, mind your Hermione. Don't let those Americans lure your husband with one of their fat university jobs. We absolutely must have you with us for Christmas.
Oh, we will be back, I promise you.
Oh, it's not absolutely certain, of course.
Herbert, what do you mean it's not certain? Of course it's certain.
After all, Herbert, old boy, you've contracted to lecture for only 2 months.
Quite right, Freddie, but then, of course, anything may happen.
Herbert adores being unpredictable. Now, what other man would decide today, the very day, mind you, before leaving for America, to dig a great hole in the floor in the cellar?
In the cellar?
Yes, for a wine bin. He's been talking about putting a wine bin in the cellar for the last 2 months, but he never got around to working on it until the last few days.
A wine bin? Whatever for?
It's the only way to store wines, you know, in the cellar. Even temperature, all that sort of thing.
Indeed. In that damp, they'll all turn. A proper wine bin should be made of concrete.
Mine will serve its purpose, I believe.
Oh, there you are, my dear. Men. They're impractical little boys at heart, all of them.
Oh, I don't know, Hermione.
Indeed they are. But not all of them are fortunate enough to have as practical a wife as you, Hermione.
Oh, not really.
Oh, yes, my dear. I know I could never have done what you've done. I'd just go to pieces. Imagine, Freddie, all the things one has to do before such a journey, and Hermione's done them all by herself.
Oh, yes, Hermione is quite remarkable.
Well, someone had to do them, and Herbert's no help.
He's a lucky man to have you, my dear. You realize that, don't you, Herbert?
Oh, indeed I do. You have no idea how well I realize it.
Well, we really must be going.
So soon?
Oh, yes. I'm sure even you have at least a few last-minute things you must attend to. But don't forget, you'll be back
for Christmas, if you may count on it.
Bon voyage, then, my dear Hermione.
Goodbye, dear.
Goodbye, Hermione.
Oh, not yet, Freddie. We'll make our farewells at the aerodrome.
At the aerodrome?
Why, yes. Herbert said you phoned to say you'd see us off at Heathrow.
I phoned?
Yes. Just a few minutes before you arrived.
But I couldn't have. I've been out for a drive all the afternoon.
Oh, come, Freddie, you may as well own up.
I say, look here, old chap, I don't know what you're trying to...
You see, Herbert can't even lie well. He's red as a beetroot.
Aren't you ashamed of yourself, Herbert, stringing poor Hermione along like that?
Well, I suppose the game is up. It wasn't Freddie I was talking to, Hermione.
Well, I don't see how it could have been.
No, I was, well, it was about a little surprise I was planning for you.
How sweet.
And I have a surprise for you, too, Herbert, when I bring you back for Christmas. Oh, merciful heavens, I thought they'd never leave.
Oh, we still have plenty of time.
Well, not if we're to leave the house in proper condition for our return. Now, Herbert, after you get that dust cloth over the Davenport, you can help me with the tea things in the scullery. No. Oh, no, not that way. Herbert, you're leaving wrinkles.
Well, who's to see it, my dear?
Well, I can see it, and I don't like it that way.
Yes. Very well. How's this?
A little better. Now, let's get at the tea things. There's a dear. Oh, Herbert.
Yes?
What was all this nonsense about a surprise for me?
Oh, well, if I told you, then it wouldn't be a surprise, would it?
Oh, come now, Herbert. We're too old to play children's games. What is it?
Well, if you'll come down to the cellar, I'll give it to you.
In the cellar? Why in the cellar?
Because that's where it is.
Oh, really, Herbert, you don't make any sense. Now, help me with the tea things.
But you will come down to the cellar.
Well, later, Herbert, if there's time.
Time. There had to be time. But Hermione was meticulous. And each cup to be washed and dried just so, and put away in the cupboard in its accustomed place just so. And the silver had to be carefully wiped and put away in its plush-lined box just so. And then, once more, all the dust covers had to be straightened and the windows checked to be sure they were locked. And the time was running short.
Now, I think that's everything.
Everything but your surprise. Will you come down to the cellar now?
Well, can't you bring it up here?
Oh, no, that would be quite impossible.
Oh, but it's so dusty down there, and I'm all dressed for the trip.
I know, but it'll only take a minute, and you'll find it quite worthwhile, I'm sure.
Oh, very well.
She went ahead down the cellar stairs. As we reached the bottom, I silently lifted a small crowbar from a nail in the wall. She stood in the middle of the cellar, peering around in the ill-lit gloom.
Well, I don't see anything but that silly hole you've dug.
That's it. It's in there.
Where?
Look closer. Step closer to it.